biotech, biopharma is alive and well, doing great here. Our good friend David Arthur is the CEO of Salarius Pharmaceuticals. He joined us late last year, and was actually really, really interesting to talk to about talking about hard to treat cancers and pediatric cancers. And one of the guys that kind of put it in plain English for us on what's going on here. So we thought we'd bring him back to start the new year and kick it off and say hi to him. David, how are you, sir? Good to see you, man.
Hey, good to see you, Bob, Russ. Happy 2022.
Thank you.
Let's hope 2022 is a heck of a lot better than 2021 for the biotech industry.
This is the dawning of the age of Salarius.
Is that how that works?
So I just wrote that. Yeah.
Hey,
Very good.
David, I've got a question for you that we asked you the first time you were on with us about a month ago, and that's how are we doing overall as not just a country but a society in battling cancer? Because it seemed like we were really on a really good uptick, mid-90s. Obviously got some good outcomes in things like prostate cancer, breast cancer, even skin cancer. How are we doing overall? Give us a grade right now.
I think you got to give everybody a high grade on what we're doing with developing new treatments for oncology. And when you helicopter up a little bit and you look back 20 years, cancer was a death sentence.
Yeah.
Now, cancer, a lot of forms of cancer, we have treatments, we have multiple treatments, we have surgeries, and it's not a death sentence the way it was 20 years ago. Having said that, there are still hundreds, if not thousands, of tumors and blood cancers that we've got to continue researching because we're not there yet. But I'll tell you what, we've made a heck of a start in trying to knock this out.
Hey, David, tell us, once again, give us a lesson on epigenetics, or epigenetics as you call it, because what you talk about is harnessing research into epigenetics, which is a growing field of cancer research. Talk about what that is and exactly how we're affected by that.
Well, there are a number of growing fields. Epigenetics is one of them, and it's really involving looking at how the body misreads genes and how the body incorrectly creates what are called these oncoproteins that will start sending signals to the body to grow cancer. Now, when that happens, the body, it's got good genes to work with, but something's going wrong. And so if we can find a way to either attack these oncoproteins that are creating these signals that never should have been created in the first place, or, and this is what Salarius is working on, find the key communication pathways and then interrupt those pathways, we can take that dysregulation, if you think of, we're regulating the body's genetic communications, if you can disrupt that dysregulation, you basically return everything to a regulated, more balanced manner, and the cancer can't survive.
So talk about,
in a nutshell, that's epigenetics.
well, and you guys, Salarius, by the way, Salarius Pharmaceuticals is a stock symbol. I beg your pardon, is the name of the company. Their stock symbol SLRX. You can go to salariuspharma.com. 2021, you guys were busy in 2021. You advanced, you expanded your clinical program, so on and so forth. Put your crystal ball in front of you and tell us what's happening in your opinion. For the model and for the research going on to 2022?
Well, for Salarius, we had a great 2022. We implemented our plan, we raised money, we ended the year in a really strong financial position, as did a lot of biotech companies. And it's unfortunate that the index, if you will, that I was just looking at, Cohen's XBI index is down 21% for the year, which is one of the biggest downturns in decades. So you got to believe that all of these biotechs with great technology like Salarius, who've been enrolling in their clinical studies and are poised for clinical readouts in the second half of the year, there's tremendous potential there because, let's face it, healthcare, biotechnology, this is the future. There's a lot of upside to these stocks, and there are a lot of really well-positioned stocks out there now, I think, as investments based on what's happened in the second half of 2021. It's really created some undervalued opportunities.
Hey, David, give us a review once again on some of your treatment and therapies and where they are in that arc of the FDA story for us.
Certainly. So we are in what is called dose expansion. So we are actually using our drug to treat patients, and our drug's an oral tablet taken twice a day. It's not a chemotherapy agent, so we don't have all those side effects. We're really hoping for a less toxic, more therapeutic, more efficacious treatment for these kids who really have nothing but adult therapies to choose from. And so by treating larger number of patients across 3 different types of sarcomas, we think we put ourselves in a really great position to generate some clinical data and, touch wood, be able to offer these kids a different treatment choice than the adult chemotherapy, radiation, and surgery, which is what they're looking at now.
Yeah, it's, you know, what's interesting also, if you think in terms of this, is how far you guys have come. If you go do some research at the beginning of 2020, you guys are head and shoulders above where you probably thought you were going to be. You guys must be happy with where you're standing.
We're ecstatic. You know, I look at our stock price and I go out and I talk to investors and I talk to our research analysts, and we all kind of scratch our head. We're baffled because we called our play 2 years ago. We said this is what we're going to do. We've been implementing our play. We're right on schedule. We're enrolling patients, and here we go. At the end of this year, we're gonna start having the big reveal.
Well, I'll tell you what we're going to do is we're going to keep on having you back on air, and we're going to follow the stories. David, thank you so much. I appreciate it. David Arthur is his name. The CEO of Salarius Pharmaceuticals.
Dawning of the age of Salarius.